Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be my how to fillet a crappie video. As you can see, this is your average 10-incher, pretty thick, very healthy fish. I think I got this guy out of lake, I want to say it was a little pond actually, a very good pond. I call it the mill. I fish there a lot. But the first thing you want to do is always make sure you got a bowl of cold water so you can put the fillets in after you rinse them. You want to take that knife right behind that gill plate, just like I just did. Then you want to take the knife, follow it right along that spine, just like I'm doing there. And second thing you want to do is make sure that you stay on the spine, but also down to those ribs, just like that. You want to stay on the spine. Try not to cut up, you'll ruin the meat. Once you get to that middle part, you can push the knife right through and then right back, right down to the tail, just like I did. Right there, I'm grinding it against that spine and also against that rib cage, so I can get as much meat as I want without leaving any meat behind. And I can do it kind of fast, but on this guy, on a lot of crappies, unless they're really fat, this is a black crappie by the way, usually on these black crappies you get a little bit of meat off of those lower portions, so I try to do a really good job on those black crappies. White crappie, I most of the time just cut it. I don't really care about that bottom meat because it's not worth it to even try to get it off. But here we go, we're doing the same thing on the other side. And right now I'm doing the rib cage. And I stopped right there in the middle. As you can see, I made a little bit of an error, but you're gonna do that from time to time. Push through right there. And then still, this whole time I'm cutting that, I'm keeping that knife right on the center bone, right on his middle bone, and then I'm going to glide on the rib cage again. This method is what I find the easiest way to clean these smaller crappie and also the larger crappie. This is the way I learned how to clean them, because I was at first catching a lot of 8-inchers, and to me I thought 8-inch crappie was a big crappie, but it's not. Even a 10-inch crappie is your average eater, so it's not really that big. This second step here, I'm flipping them over. I do this with every fish I get. Flip them over, do this bend, take the knife, glide it right along the skin, get the rest of that meat off. I'm just chopping, but I'm not pushing down too hard. It's at like a 30-degree angle maybe, mostly towards the bottom, 30 degrees towards the bottom, so towards the skin that's laying down, and then I can get that meat off. And so again, sometimes you leave stuff like that on. I'll leave some skin on. It's usually pretty easy to get off if you got something sticking off like that. You can take the knife, just rip it right off. A lot of that skin will just rip right off of these crappies, so it's not a problem to get that off. And then you've got a decent fillet. Now on the larger ones, once you want to really only keep 10-inchers, 9-inchers if they're fat. But once you start going up 1 inch, it makes a huge difference. You go from a 10 to an 11, or even to a 12 or 13. 13 is like a 13-inch crappie. I'm good. For me, as big as I am, one crappie, 13 inches, is all I need. I don't need to eat anything else, because there's so much meat on that one crappie. You really don't need anything else. Some people cut them into little nuggets and stuff, but yeah, I don't do that. I've done it in the past with some bass. A lot of people don't eat bass, but they taste really, really good. So here I'm just rinsing off the fillet now, putting them in the cold water, and then that's it. I mean, look how glistening white it is. Sometimes I'll pick off that top meat, sometimes I won't. But here we're on the next side, do the same exact thing. I always take the knife and do that upwards so that I don't cut myself, but not too much pressure. And then again, bend that tail, glide it same exact way I did the first side. And usually one side has a lot of the blood, the other side doesn't. Usually it's the first side that you clean that has a lot of that blood. But there it is. And again, this is not my finest work. I probably did this a year ago. I've seriously been fishing like on a serious level maybe 3 years now. You get better with time, especially with this filleting. Sometimes you don't want to do it. Sometimes you have to do it. Sometimes you really enjoy doing it, especially if you haven't done it in a while. So there, I'm rinsing them off. You gotta make sure you get all the blood out, because you don't want to have a bunch of blood left over in your fillet. And you want to take your hands and kind of rub them together. I know I didn't show that there, but what you want to be left over with is that white, just pure white meat. Okay, you don't want anything else, and that's it. Pretty much done.